Hello, I'm Kirk Smith, professor at the University of California Berkeley, where I'm sitting now, and also I'm director of the Collaborative Clean Air Policy Center in Delhi. I first met José when he came to a meeting we held at the East-West Center in the late 1970s, just after I'd come here from Berkeley, where I'd worked with John Holdren, who's now most famous for his being the last advisor to a U.S. president, Barack Obama, at least last to date. José came at a time for me when I was trying to make a decision whether to change my career from looking at nuclear power and other large-scale modern energy forms to looking at what I realized was still fairly unknown situations related to the oldest and largest form of energy used by most of humanity in those days, which is biomass fuel. His wise counsel as a senior respected physicist who had broadened his work out to look at all aspects of energy, it was the beginning of a 40-year friendship, was instrumental for me in making this decision, which was not easy. There were no funds available for this, and there was some opposition by many of my colleagues. In 1984, through his influence, I went to a meeting at the Pontifical Academy of Sciences at the Vatican called Energy for Survival and Development. This was a heady experience for me because there were many senior scientists from all over the world examining the broad issues around energy. And I actually found a photograph of our group photograph at that. I think we'll post it separately. And you'll see that José and I are well represented, although both in the back row. In the late 90s, again, due to his influence, I became a member of the executive committee of the World Energy Assessment done by the UNDP and the World Energy Council. And many meetings, I experienced the compassionate and wise chairmanship of José as he made the difficult wending through to get a final consensus document. And in those days, we had began to understand that the health impacts of biomass fuel use were considerable in the world. But 10 years later, when the global energy assessment occurred, we had realized, and the world had begun to realize, that biomass fuel use was perhaps the largest single environmental health risk factor in the world. A transition that had taken about 40 years, about the time of my friendship with José. José, happy birthday, and many thanks for a long career of addressing the very large scale issues in energy, and for the inspiration you provided so many.